This is WordPress Plugins A to Z.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Welcome to another training video from WP Plugins A to Z.com. I am John Overall. I'm here to give you another enlightening training video for one of the plugins that we have reviewed. In this particular one, we will be discussing an appointment calendar. It's called Easy Appointments. We reviewed this plugin back in episode 263 of WP Plugins A to Z.com, and you'll find everything related to what I'm going to discuss here in the drop down below for everything. So make sure you go check that all out. And it's got all the notes and bits and pieces and leads you back to the show notes for episode 263 for this thing. So right off, we'll get started and we'll start showing you a bit about how this plugin works and what it can do for you. So this one here is called Easy Appointments. It's a free plugin. It's available at the WordPress.org website. And I'm going to show you how to set up this plugin, how to use it, and what the advantages are. It's a booking calendar for your website, and what it will allow you to do is eliminate third-party services. Now, there are a couple of caveats I discovered when going through and preparing for this training video. That is that there is no connection for it to go into your Google Calendar if you use a Google Calendar to monitor and maintain things. So there's no automatic connection built into this plugin. So you'll have to manually keep your stuff up to date. But it is a really good way of setting up appointments off your website if you're running probably more of a simplistic kind of thing, or you run a lot of manual stuff through it. So anyway, without much further ado, let's jump into it and start to show you a bit about how this plugin works. So of course, first thing you got to do is you got to go to your plugins, add new, and then go quickly search for Easy Appointments. And when you do that, you're going to find a whole lot of plugins named Easy Appointments. Now, you're looking for a very specific one here. It's the one by Nikola Loncar. So you'll want to make sure this is the one you install, okay? You don't want any other ones. So as usual, with WordPress, simply click Install, wait for it to install, and then activate. Once that's done, it's going to give you a new menu item called Easy Appointments. And this is going to take a few minutes to set up. It's not that hard, but you do want to go through these settings and make sure they're all clarified and set up clearly. So we'll jump into the settings right away here. Now, the first thing you'll notice here, it's got locations, services, workers, connections, customize, and then tools. The nice thing about this plugin versus many others, they actually set these icons up in the order you need to do to set things together with it. So first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to set some locations. So we're going to set a single location here. And what are we going to... Okay, so what you need here is you can need a location. Now, you don't have to fill in all three of these items in particular. Now, if you're just selling services off your website, say you're selling consulting services, all you need is your name here. Okay, and you just put Joe's Place or whatever it is you're going to put up in there. And if it's a business location, then you'll want to put an actual address, like 123 Any Street. Okay, and then the location. And the location would be like, city, state, local county, whatever, if it's an actual physical location. So you put that in there, and then you simply save that. And you put in as many locations as you need, depending on what you're going to be doing. You could have a business that has multiple places, like a gym. This would be a good if you have multiple gym locations. Or say you're a yoga teacher and you train at several different gyms across town. You could put all of them in here. That sort of thing. Then you can go on to, once you've created a location, then you go into services. What services are you going to offer? Are you going to offer consulting? How long is that consulting going to be? And what are you going to charge for that consulting? Are you going to, if it's going to be an hour long, you can put $10 or $20 or $50 or $100 or $200. And if you're going to say give away a free hours of consulting, you would put a zero price there and say 1 for 1 hour free consulting. Free consulting. and then you'd save that. If you have a service that you offer, such as, click the other button, wrong button. Maybe the service you offer is training, and you do this at a place of business. And then you'd put the training in there at $60 or at $60, and then they at $125 an hour, and save that. All right, so now you've got a couple of services. You've got your location. Now you need a worker or a person who's going to be doing this work. So you put in Joe's name, put in a description of what he offers, then the email address for Joe, and then a phone number for Joe. And save that. So now you've got all the three basic things in here. So now what you need to do is you need to go connect them all together so that they can show up and look good in the displayed piece that's going to be on your website. So then you hit on connections. Now you're going to add a new connection. If you have multiple services and multiple addresses and things, you can use a bulk connections here and create all of them all at in one shot. That's a great way to do it if you have a lot, but we only have one in this, so we're just going to go add new connection. We're going to choose location, Joe's Place, the service. For 1 hour free consulting, the worker, going to be Joe. What days of the week is he going to offer these services? We'll say he'll do it Monday through Friday, and he'll start doing them at, let's start him at 9 a.m. And then we'll end his time at, say, 2 p.m. Oop, wrong button. We want this one. We want the 14 for 2, and then we want 0 for that. You got to make sure you're paying attention to hours and minutes here, because you do have the option to set it in the off minute times. Okay, you got that? Now, what dates is this service going to be offered? Now, this one here I kind of looked at. They give you a default starting of 1st of January of this year, 2017, to the 1st of January of 2020. So you could set it all the way out in the future. But the thing is people take vacations, people are on holidays, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't want to have all the times available all the time. So you'll probably want to do these on a monthly basis or something similar to that. So since we're doing this in July, we're going to start this on July 19th, which is the day we're recording this. And we're going to move this one all the way down to July 30th, and we're going to change 2020 to 2017. Okay. Now, is he working at these times? Yes, these are the times he's working. Okay. Then we hit save on that one. We've saved it. Okay. Now, what you'll want to do after that, those are your setups for your calendar. We'll get back to those and how they work and display in a few minutes. Customizing. You're going to want to do some customizations to this plugin before you're fully done. Okay, right at the top here, you want to deal with the connections. Okay, and then you're going to set the multiple work. What this does is you want to have that checked. It's checked by default, but what it does is it calculates the free worker slots only by current service and location, meaning that if your worker works in multiple services or multiple locations, it doesn't allow, it makes sure that it's checking the right free times for each of those. If you uncheck it, it'll search for everything at any location and service at any time, which means you could have them at the wrong place at the wrong time. So you want to leave that checked. Compatibility mode, what this is for is if you have issues displaying this the front end on your website and you can't click into, nobody can click into to save any of the fields, you'll want to check this box. It's a compatibility mode for some servers out there. Okay. The max number of appointments that a visitor can make a reservation for before a limit is done. You'll want to limit this. Maybe you want to limit them to only being allowed to make 2 appointments. The default is 5. This is, variable. Auto reservation. It makes reservations at the moment user selects date and time. We don't want to do that. You don't want it to be the time to be reserved until after they've confirmed it. That way it can still be open. So we'll leave that there. The default status is pending because you want to be able to confirm that time just to verify against your calendar. Like I said, because it doesn't have an auto check into your Google Calendar, unlike the third-party services that are out there, you want to make sure your calendar's open. So leave it at pending. Next thing down is to modify the mail notifications. You'll notice there's 4 mail notifications: the pending notification, the reservation notification, the canceled notification, and the confirmed notification. You'll have to go write yourself an email and use the codes up here in the top to put in all the information that's going to be sent out to the person. So we're going to put some of that in here just so we can show you how it looks when it's done. So we'll be right back. All right, we've created a modification here, and we've added in several of the links. So what would be is like you've booked the service name for the amount of time at a cost of with the following person. You can contact him at the following places. So this will be what it's out there. Now, pending notification emails, these will be going out to the specific people you name. Now, this will go out to whoever you need it to go to, and you can send it out to multiple people to make sure they get it. The admin notification is a new reservation for whatever the service is for. The visitor notification will be the reservation for. You can send an email to the worker, send an email to the user, and who it's going to be sent from. Okay, so you'll want to put that information in there. Labels, the labels are set at default. You can modify them here so that people know what they're getting. You can change your default time dates to AM, PM, or the 24-hour clock, depending on what you prefer. Calendar, localization for whatever part of the globe you're in, and then the block time. Okay. And this is to prevent users from making an appointment if there are less minutes than this in that time frame. Custom form fields, you can customize the form. It comes default with an email, name, phone, description. These are the forms that the users will be filling out, so you can add and collect more information here if you like. You've got the options of inputs, selectable areas, or text areas. Not a lot of form types, but it will allow you to collect more information. You can also customize the forms up. If you're really good with CSS, you can go customize your own with CSS and then put your custom CSS code here. You can turn off the CSS files, let your website take over. Now, this one here I found kind of difficult. It's called the I agree field. It puts an I agree to terms and service checkbox at the bottom of the form, but no place could I find in here how you would put those terms and services or a link to those terms and services on that. So this is something, if you put this in here, you're going to have to put the terms and services into the form field or the page you put the form on. Now, if someone cancels an appointment while they're filling it out, where are they going to go to? Back to the calendar, back to the worker, service location. Also, after they've booked an appointment, front end form, you can redirect them to another page on your website. Maybe you'll direct them to a page of instructions of what they need to do to prepare for the event that's coming up. Also, your currency, you can set whatever currency you use in here, whether it be euros, dollars, Deutschmarks, whatever the currency field is going to be. Currency before the price, or if you want to completely offer free services, you can check to hide the price. So those are the configuration options for this plugin. Make sure you save everything at the end so you don't lose anything. And then we go back to the top to head off to the tools. Now the tools here is to allow you to send a test mail to make sure your mailing service is working from your website, and also an error log if it's gotten any errors with the plugin. So you can come in here and check on that. So that's what we got there. So once you've gone through all of these steps, your next step is to display this on your website. So to do that, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to create a new page. Like most everything else out there, this is going to use a shortcode. Shortcode. So we're going to create a new form here called bookings. Get that out of my way. Go away. Okay. All right, so we've got that there, bookings. And then what you're going to do is there's 2 shortcodes you can use for this. Now, the default shortcode listed, as I said, below in the box below for the video. Okay, 2 shortcodes. You got EA Bootstrap, which displays the form in a single column. Not always the best way to make the form display. So they've got a second code you can use, the EA Bootstrap, and this will stick it in 2 columns. So what you'll want to do here is make sure you've got all the bits and pieces that go with it. There we go. And this will display it so that it looks much better. So I'm going to put both of them on here so we can see exactly how it looks on the page. Then all you got to do is publish the page. Quite simple and easy. Then we'll head off to view the page. Okay, and this is the page. Now, the top one, this is the one that shows what's available. And okay, I need to make a couple of caveats that I just discovered here when I was trying to explain this, and it wouldn't display correctly. First off, you cannot have both of the shortcodes on the page at the same time. They actually interfere with each other, each one doing two different things. So we will start with the single column one to give you an idea of what it looks like, and then we will talk about the problem that comes into effect on the system when you have that. So single column with it ends up looking like this. It stacks it, makes it hard to see what people are doing, and you'll notice up there. All right, well, welcome to the circus, folks. Everything goes crazy, so let's do this again right at this point here. As I was explaining, you've got single column. It makes it hard to see what is available for them to do. You know, you choose the times and then it shows what it is. Now, something else I discovered here is that if you only have one service, you don't get a listing up here at the top to talk about that. So we're going to backtrack just a little bit here to go back and show you about the settings and adding an additional service. So we'll jump into the service page here. Okay, making the connections. This is where you need another connection. Now you can clone one that's there. So you can easily create a second one that is quickly editable. Because all you're going to change here is the type of service, the 1 hour free consulting versus a training, and then save that. Now when we go back to the bookings page, we hit the refresh button, and right now you have a choice of the services that are available. Now you will want to have more information on this page for people to choose from so that they know what's up. All right. So back to the other on the edit page, what we're going to do here is we're going to change this out and put in the 2-column shortcode so that we can display this in 2 columns and show you how much better it looks in 2 columns and how much easier it will be for your users to read. So once we go to 2 columns, save it, refresh the page, and here, now you can see everything is in one easy viewable area, unless of course they're on a smart device, then it'll just stack it anyway. So at any rate, they can easily choose the service they want, makes the calendar here for them, choose the time they want. They are then asked to fill out their email, name, phone number, description, and it gives them a booking overview. So what we'll do is we'll fill that information out, get an email sent, and then we'll show you what the emails look like. Okay, so once you fill that out with sample information, testing information, name, this is what your users will fill out. They'll see that they've booked an overview, location at Joe's place, an hour of free consulting. The worker's going to be Joe. The price is going to be nothing. Booked for July 19th at 1 p.m. And then they hit submit. And, oops, slot is taken. Well, we got to choose a new one. All right. So we'll choose one on the 20th for 10 a.m. How about that? Look at that. If a slot's taken, they'll find out real quick. All right, that's been done. And this is the point where if you'd set it up to refresh to a new page, it would send them to a new page of information. So what we'll do is we'll go fetch out the email that was sent and we'll bring that up to view for you. Okay, so to show you what the emails look like that will come through for your users, the first one here, the user who submitted will get an email that says reservation, whatever you've made it out to be, customized it. You'll say pending, they booked for 1 hour free consulting, the amount of time, 60, and you might want to put minutes after it, customize it up. But anyway, they get a full listing of everything that's happening. Now the emails that go to the administrators are this one here. This one goes to the administrator, and you'll see that they tried to send it to Joe at sample.com. I really hope nobody named Joe is at sample.com because he just got this email. Oh well. Sucks to be him. At any rate, it gives you all the information about who booked what, when, and where. And from what IP address, the description that they put in there, looking forward to consult, you might want to change that to leave a note, how they can confirm the appointment or cancel the appointment if need be. Now going back to yours, what you want to do is when you get in here, you can go back to the Easy Appointments setup, and then you can go into the appointments list here, and it will show you an appointment has been booked. And where you can get in here and edit it, go change it from pending to reservation to abandoned to cancel to confirmed. And we'll save that. You can also go in here and check the reports. The reports will come in, and you can have money that you've collected. You can export it to a CSV file, or if you click the timetable, and then you go in here and choose a worker and a service, and then hit refresh, it'll show you nice bright red who's booked an appointment when, and it tells you all the slots that that person has available to them. So this is how the Easy Appointment Calendar works. It's really a nice little plugin. It will work very well if you are running a simplified website for the most part. If you've got complex services, I'm not so certain this one would work for you. You might want to try out one of the other plugins, such as the one we use on WP Plugins A to Z for people to book appointments with me for coming on our show and talking on the WP Plugins A to Z podcast. And that one there, once the appointment's booked, is then added to my Google Calendar, so I know the appointment's booked and I don't have to check the website. So at any rate, great plugin. Check it out, and more of the information you need in the show notes below. This is what you'll want to do, is go down and check it out. In the show notes below, you will find all of this information and tags and other bits and pieces. So thanks a lot for your time. We appreciate it. You'll find out more at wppluginsa2z.com, where you can listen to our podcast as we review plugins every week. That's all we got now for you. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.